Hey guys, how we doing? I hope you're all doing well. This is Ivy. If none of you guys have seen her before, in the early live stream she used to appear. Um, she's got a bit of a food problem, haven't you, darling? She's on a seafood diet. She sees food and she's got to eat it. So we've got to try and slim her down, unfortunately. Um, but she is a rescue, so you take them on with their problems. And she's daddy's little angel, aren't you? Huh? Ah, daddy loves you. But this is Ivy anyway, guys. Oh, down she goes. Right, enough about that. Sorry I've not been on. I've been super busy with life, as always, which sucks. But what can you do? It's life. But now listen, guys, this is a reaction video because if you remember rightly, we did a reaction video with a guy called Boo Boo Boo. What was his name? His name was Andy Pants Gaming. So Andy Pants Gaming, if you're watching this, we're going to react to your video. And it's about Halo. It's about Halo and it's about Campaign Evolved. Now, we've touched on this in the past and we've spoken about this in the past. And I think it's only right that we watch his video and he's coming out with some pretty strong shit. Do you know what I mean? Excuse my language. And I think, I think this will be interesting. Just check it out, guys. All right, here we go.
Heroic, masculine, right-wing, pro-military, pro-America. Now it's fucking gay and worked on by theater kids. Campaign Evolved is so bad you have the level designer from Halo 3 saying stuff like this. The Halo devs have apparently...
I just want to throw in a disclaimer, guys, that he does use profanity. And if you're sensitive to profanity, then you've been warned. I don't swear on live, but some people do. But we're all adults,
decided that the majority of Marines should now be women. I'm fine with occasionally seeing a woman Marine, whatever, but we're starting to enter clown world territory here. For Campaign Evolved, which is a remaster of Halo 1, 343 thought it was a good idea to add 3 missions to the beginning of the game, centering around this dog-ugly Boldyke as she one-ups Chief.
Not bad, Spartan. I'm almost starting to believe the propaganda.
Bro, it's like they watched my video.
Right, I'm gonna say one thing. Master Chief, from what I've seen, I've not played it. I've not played Halo Campaign Evolved. But this woman does seem to be very disrespectful towards Chief. And to be quite honest, it is a misstep because Chief was like humanity's last hope. Chief was the guy that was going to save the universe. And for this woman, it could be anyone, it could be male or female, it doesn't really matter to me. But anyone disrespecting Chief is going to instantly become an enemy of the very fan base that you're trying to make this game for. So why are they allowing her to be so disrespectful to him? It's kind of like, you're an idiot because you like Halo. You're a misogynistic because you like Halo. It does feel a bit like that. I've seen all the clips, by the way. I've watched live streams as well, guys, But anyway, let's get into it.
Disabled trans girl boss and thought I was pitching an idea for a new Halo. Anyway, so what I've been doing the past week is going back and playing the first 3 Halo games, and what stuck with me was number 1, how pro-military and right-wing these games were, number 2, how much these games focused on religion, and number 3, how the entire lore of the original games was thrown away with Halo 4. And that's what I want to talk about in this video. Old school Halo would make your average little liberal soy cuck today piss their pants.
Be gone from me, you soy boy beta cuck.
Legendary mode on Halo Combat Evolved would filter all these pussies. If that didn't get rid of them, we would troll the shit out of their mom in our Halo lobbies.
I'm just fucking riot shield. What else?
Right, okay. I lived through the early 2000s. I played the Halo, and Call of Duty, and originally back in the day, and those lobbies were absolutely off the absolute Richter scale when it came to verbal abuse. And we said a lot of things, including yours truly, because I was only young. Things to people that you shouldn't say by today's standards. But the whole point of life is to evolve. And as a species, if we don't push the barriers to try and evolve, then we get left behind. And we go, it was a product of its time, and that was awesome. But the reality is that we can't keep going around making the same mistakes again and again and again. We have to evolve. And I just think, I think the old Halos were legendary. They were great games. But the thing is, it's a new generation of people and they're different. They're built different. And the older generation, like guys like me, the boys don't cry. It's bullshit. Male mental health needs to be spoken about. Male suicide needs to be spoken about. It does happen. These mental health issues needs to be spoken about. Just because you're a man, your emotions and feelings, you need to talk about these things, guys. And you need to go. You need to find a bro and say, look, I'm struggling with this, or I can't cope with that. We need to talk about that. I'm a big advocate for mental health, because I experienced mental health issues at one point. And I'm 6'4" and 109 kilos at my heaviest, and I'm a big lad, and I thought that I had it covered, and I didn't. And everybody else around me could see me unraveling. And that's personal, like right there, guys. That's personal, and you have to talk about your mental health. You have to talk about your struggles. You have to, man, because if you bottle it up and you push it down, it's just going to come back up, and it's going to manifest itself in a negative light. And yeah, the early 2000s were great for gaming. They were great for Halo and Call of Duty and all that. But the truth is, it was a toxic environment to be in. Okay, right, let's get into it.
I'm a pussy that use riot shield.
So what changed? And it's simple. Halo has been hijacked by pronoun people. It's been hijacked people who talk about racism and misogyny. You can see this in the people who work on Halo now. Here's a guy who hates guns working on Halo. Here's a dude who is a Fruit Loop working on Halo. Here's a black woman who was the chief of staff of Halo at one point. And you see this showing.
But what does the fact that she's a black woman, like, when do people go, oh my God, Cav's a white man? You know what I mean? I don't see the point of the fact that she's black has got anything to do with it. What is wrong with my fan? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get the reason why the fact that she's a black woman has to even be mentioned, but okay. Let's get back into it, guys.
Up in the game itself now. The original Halo games were heroic and pro-military. Now you have Catherine Halsey and everybody questioning whether Chief is even the good guy or not.
I thought you'd be taller.
343 Studios or Halo Studios, nobody gives a fuck. Whatever they're called now, they obviously hate Master Chief and they hate everything he stood for in the original games. Never has there been a worse downfall from OG Bungie to 343 Halo Studios. Bro, back in
I think you need a balance. I think if you just stick with men, then you get a very masculine, a very toxic environment. And again, if you stick with all women, I think you get a very toxic, very feminine environment. You need that balance between two. And you need that balance between two. Otherwise, if you don't have that balance, you will get games like Halo, Campaign Evolved.
In the day, Bungie, without having social media or anything, was obsessed with their game and wanted to make fans happy. It's simple. Halo CE launched in 2001, and it had single player, co-op, and multiplayer on launch, all on one disc, big dog. And it cost like $50 million to make. The virgins and beta males who made Halo Infinite, the game cost $400 million, and all they could do on launch was a wet fart single player campaign. But don't worry, the Pride armor, the Women's Day armor, the Black History Month armor were all right on time. Like, Have you ever thought about that? Why do these gay-ass studios have to delay their game, but they never delay Pride armor? They never delay gay-ass Black History Month armor. They're just soft, dude. It's a bunch of soft, virgin, incel men who wear dresses fucking working on Halo now.
And here at Caveat Gamer, I don't care what religion people are. I don't care what race people are. I don't care if men want to wear dresses and women want to wear jeans. I just don't care. Like, to me, people are people, and we need to remember that. You know, this guy is very misogynistic, and he's very old school. And do you know what? Fair enough. There's more power to him for his views, and I respect his views. But I just think, you know, I'm not woke by any stretches of the imagination. I'm not. But I do think at some point you have to put a line in the sand and accept people for being people. You know, whether you agree with it or disagree with it, it is what it is. People are people. We all suck air. We all bleed red. You know, it is what it is.
It used to be military-based chads, and now it's homos making this game. So anyway, boys, let's get into the main topic of this video because, like I said, I replayed the first 3 Halo games, and I want to go into 3 major points about exactly why the Halo games are so bad now. Number 1, the original Halo games made...
I don't like his homophobic references. I don't, because I've actually got friends who are gay, and they're the nicest couple ever. I've got quite a few gay friends, and they come over for dinner and stuff. I don't like homophobic people, and I find that homophobic people are usually gay themselves, but haven't got the confidence to come out, or haven't got the confidence to live the life that they want to live. So they go around coming out with this crap about gay this and homophobe and gay that and homos this and homos that. I find that a bit of a tough pill to swallow with this guy. But you know what? Here at Caveat Gamer, man, we address the you know, the elephant in the room, and that's what I'm all about. You know, I'm not going to be hiding behind the screen going, oh well, you know. No, we're going to hit these issues head on. And the armor sets, I think they look pretty cool. If you want to download them, more power to you. But who am I to judge you, and vice versa? Who are you to judge me? You know. Anyway, let's get into it.
Did you feel like a hero? 343 turned Master Chief into a cuck, a simp, and a morally gray bad guy. Number 2, the original Halo games were primarily military engagement video games. The 343 games are practically anti-military games and completely get away from the series' roots. Number 3, Halo has always been a deeply religious game. The 343 games stripped all the religious stuff out, and it doesn't feel like a Halo anymore. So let's get into it. One final caveat here. When I talk about the good Halos, I'm referring to everything up to including Halo Reach. When I talk about the bad Halos, I'm talking about Halo 4, Halo 5, Halo Infinite, and this new dog water.
Right, let's get into it. Right, Halo Combat Evolved back in 2001 was a great game because obviously it launched the original Xbox. Halo 2 was awesome. Halo 3 was great. Halo ODST was a great game. Or Halo 3 Recon. All right, they called it Recon. Maybe in America they called it Recon. And Halo Reach were great games. You see what you're seeing here is Bungie, and then you're seeing 343, also known as Halo Studios, and their games, which was Halo 4, Halo 5, Halo Infinite, and obviously Halo Campaign Evolved. I think they are 2 different companies, 2 different things. I do think that Halo has definitely dropped off since 343 or Halo Studios have taken over, and I do think they need to sell the IP now because I do think they are butchering a classic. But that's from a storytelling point of view. That's from a gameplay point of view. Yeah, let's get into it.
Campaign Evolve thing. Replaying Halo 1, Halo 2, and Halo 3 again, I realized what made these games so powerful. And it's the feeling of being the hero.
Yeah,
you are
man.
Spartan John 117, a Christian reference to the Bible, by the way. You are a super soldier created by humanity to save them. Nobody can do what you do. You are humanity's greatest warrior. And Marty O'Donnell's legendary soundtrack specifically leans into this feeling. I think of the Forward Unto Dawn towering over you in the sky and dropping off tanks in Halo 3. I think of running headfirst into battle in Halo Reach. I think of mounting a final offensive in Halo 2. The developers at Bungie were simply Chads. They were actually men. They cared about things like heroism and not being a little trans troony beta cuck. Jump over to 343 Industries and you see grown men showing up to work in dresses. They're evil. They're
Which I would like to say at this point is their choice. It's their choice whether they want to, go to work in a dress. It's their choice, man.
demonic. They have mental illnesses. And of course,
And again, he's being disrespectful. Yeah.
you see this come across in their games. Halo 4 opens with Dr. Halsey essentially being called a war criminal for making the Spartans. Halsey is first mentioned in the book from 2001, but never shows up in the early games except for in Halo Reach. Reach never treated Halsey as a war criminal, but rather somebody who made hard decisions to save humanity. So again, the cuckening of Halo. 343 is attacking their own main character. But it gets worse. Most of Halo 4 is just Chief simping for Cortana. He has no real mission anymore. They're just trying to get back to Earth, and then they accidentally open a Forerunner artifact and out pops the Didact. The last thing Chief says in Halo 3 is, "Wake me when you need me."
Wake me when you need me.
To me, this implies that Chief should be kept in cryosleep until there is a clear mission for him, and that never actually happened in Halo 4. What was your mission? Get back to Earth, fart around on some alien planet, and talk to the Didact with this boring new enemy type they made? It's obvious Halo 4 was made by retards and pronoun people, but it gets even worse. The first time Chief runs into other Spartans, we get this embarrassing interaction.
I thought you'd be taller.
Just in case you wanted more things to cringe about in Halo 4, I read online that the Didact is a metaphor for imperial dominance, racial supremacy, and forced assimilation. Because all the creators of Halo 4 are gay and woke, you can 100% assume they are talking about white people in America. But wait, guys, the UNSC is
Right. Now, I don't know what it is about Americans, but they always seem to talk about them. It could be white people on planet Earth, could it? It had to be white people in America.
is definitely meant to be a metaphor for America in the first 5 Halo games, and in those games we are the good guys. So which is it? Again, 343 is so confused and retarded because they made America the good guys in the first 5 Halo games, and now suddenly America are the bad guys. And the final thing I hate about Halo 4 is, of course, that they completely changed the lore. In Halo 3, there's a moment where 343 Guilty Spark looks at Chief and says something to the effect of, "You are the Forerunner."
You are Forerunner.
Yeah, I never got that.
Implying that humans are the Forerunners and that they are not actually a separate race.
Yeah, and the Forerunners, it was a bit like, hang on, we're not actually the Forerunners. Like, we're human. Like, what? Like, huh? Hang on. This civilization that existed years and years and billions of years ago that made the Halo rings are actually human? Okay, right. Great, good to know.
And then if you look at all the Bungie lore dumps and old videos, you find out, yes, Bungie intended humans to be the original Forerunners. And that would have been super interesting because on the one hand, the Covenant are against the humans and fighting the humans, but then they're finding out, oh wait, the humans are also the Forerunners we've been searching for, and the Prophet of Truth is hiding all this stuff from them, and it would have been a very cool plot device to have used in the later Halo games. But of course, 343 had to retcon all of this. They tossed out all of Bungie's lore, and they said, no, we're going to make the Forerunners a completely different race that look like Voldemort. So yeah, one of the biggest reasons Halo 4 is trash is just because they threw out all of Bungie's lore, and they made the Forerunners this separate race, and nobody wanted that, and the 343 games are just dog shit. Anyway, moving on.
I agree with the fact of the games aren't that great.
The Halo games are primarily games about military conflicts. They're not necessarily only about Chief. The original ship attacked in Halo 1 was the Pillar of Autumn, a military ship. You do reconnaissance for the military the entire game. Halo 2 opens with the Chief being awarded medals for his service. He is a war hero. Halo 3 ends over a patriotic speech as we see a memorial to all the fallen soldiers in the game. Halo Reach is primarily about the bravery and dedication of 6 Spartans as they gave their lives to stop
Yeah.
the fall of Reach.
Too
the
right.
original Halo games are unabashedly pro-military, and as we know, the military makes leftists, libcucks, and troons seethe. But moving on, we know
We got to stop with this whole line in the sand, you know, this whole wokeism hunt and then this whole far right hunt, you know, at some point we just got to come together as a species, man. I mean, didn't Chief teach us anything? Then we can come together as a species and be better than ourselves. And now we're just like, this game's crap because it's woke. No, it's crap because people's opinions, people's views, people's standpoint, people's idea of entertainment has evolved since 2001, you know?
that the military framing in the good Halo games is the perfect foil for Master Chief. The UNSC soldiers and all the military stuff in the Halo games have always grounded these games and made them feel more real than Pixels were able to. Because the 343 games were made by feminists and gay men who think the military is icky, it's obvious that the military's
Right. At the end of the day, you know, it doesn't matter someone's sexual orientation. You know, that's here or there. I don't care. It's about the game. And if the game is crap, the game is crap on its own merit. You don't need to be going after the devs and calling them gay and trans and whatever else he's calling them.
Role got
Disagree with that.
severely downgraded in the 343 games. So in summary, the later Halo games do not feel like Halo to me because they massively downgraded the military conflict aspect of all this.
Yeah.
Halo 4 is about having retarded and esoteric conversations with the didact. It's boring as hell. Halo 5 is about Cortana becoming the bad guy and you fight this gay loser called Warden Eternal. In Halo Infinite, you fight a bunch of brutes called the Banished, and these guys are so boring that I can't tell them apart.
Yeah, I
Do you wanna
struggled
know
a
why the
bit.
343 games don't feel
Atrax.
like Halo? It's because the war against the Covenant and then the war against the Flood are the primary plot device in the good Halo games. The later games were such retarded failures because they got away from being about a military conflict.
Yeah,
All right, my final point.
There
Number
we go.
3, Halo has always been about religion. Is there
Oh, really?
anything that Reddit atheists
Okay, before we get into this, I'm just going to simply say that oh, my light's gone out. What the hell? Oh, there we go. I'm going to say at this point that about religion. Okay, I never looked at it that deep, but some guys did, I suppose, and some girls did. I never looked at it that deep, but here we go.
and pronoun people hate more than religion. And this explains why the 343 games have almost all of the religious content taken out, because leftists find religion icky. But the truth is that Halo 1, 2, and 3 are deeply focused on faith and religious belief. Halo 1 opens with a choir singing, the prophet of mercy, the prophet of truth, the prophet of regret, all biblical concepts. John 1:17 is a Bible reference. The Covenant is a Bible reference. The Flood, also a Bible reference. Marty O'Donnell indicated that the original name for the Covenant was the Dervish, which would have been a direct reference to Islam. So if you look at the original Halo trilogy, it is clear that these games are about religious fanaticism versus America. The UNSC represents the USA.
It's always Team America, isn't it? You know, the fact that there's multiple different countries around the world. You know, you've got Europe, you've got the continent of Africa, you've got the continent of Asia. I mean, you know, you've got all these different countries around the world, but it all comes back to the good old America. You know, it's just boring at this point. I mean, Americans need to stop looking at their own arse. I've got no interest. I mean, America is a bit gung-ho on this one. I mean, okay, America, you know, the UNSC was supposed to be the Earth, all the militaries of the Earth fighting the Covenant. I don't think it was just meant to be America, and that I find is a little bit disrespectful to other countries.
And the Covenant represents the Middle East conflict. The prophet of truth is clearly a jihadist.
My feet tread the path. I shall become a god.
The whole idea of activating the Halo ring is a metaphor for suicide and these lunatics sacrificing themselves for Allah. The Halo ring is essentially a way to commit suicide by wiping out all life in the universe and going on the quote great journey.
Right, okay, let's not disrespect this. Let's not be disrespectful. Like, this guy, he may be a Christian, and if he is, fair play to him. I mean, I have, my own beliefs that are in the Christian circles. I have my own beliefs. I believe in God, and I believe in the Christian God. That's my choice. Yeah, but to be coming on here and to be doing videos like that, that's awfully disrespectful. And again, Andy Pants Gaming, I think you need to be a little bit more respectful, mate, to be fair,
But over the course of Halo 2, you see the Arbiter's metamorphosis from a true believer to somebody who actively questions his religion. You could say over the course of the first 3 Halo games, the Arbiter goes from a radical Muslim to a moderate Muslim who doesn't believe religious suicide is the answer anymore. This is why the Chief and Arbiter are able to team up and take down the Prophet of Truth and prevent the annihilation of the universe by these religious fanatics. So it's not true to say that Christianity is fighting the Covenant in the Halo games, but what is clear is the Human Covenant War is 100% a metaphor for the Iraq War, which is the conflict our country was engaged in at the time. Another interesting thing here is that Master Chief's name is John 1:17. In the Bible, the verse John 1:17 reads as follows: "For the law was given through Moses. Grace and truth came through Jesus Christ." Master Chief is what is known as a, quote, type of Christ. He does what humanity is not capable of doing. He is the ultimate soldier, the ultimate man, the ultimate Giga Chad. In the same way Chief saves humanity from suicidal jihadist Islam, Jesus Christ saves humanity from their sins by dying in their place. So it's easy to see why all religious content was removed from Halo 4, Halo 5, and Infinite. And this is
because religion doesn't have a place in video games. We play video games to escape from reality, right? And the truth is, I personally never looked at it this deep. I mean, this guy's looking at it crazy deep, and fair play to him. But no, man, be respectful. At the end of the day, we live in a multicultural society with people from all different walks of life, and that's people's choice. That's people's choice. Don't be dissing anyone, man.
yet another reason why Halo 4, 5, and
Why have I lost
Infinite do
sound?
not feel like Halo games. Halo has
Oh, there we
always
go.
been deeply religious and deeply steeped in metaphor. So what did the woke retards at 343 do instead of the religion? They basically brought in a bunch of boring lore from the books and talked about that instead. Nobody cares about Warden Eternal. Nobody cares about the Didact. But because woke leftists are completely detached from reality, they thought somebody
No.
would give a shit about these characters, and we never did. The only hint at Halo 4 and 5 being a metaphor, like I said earlier, is that number one, Chief is the bad guy now because Halsey kidnapped him from his parents and made him a child soldier and therefore bad. Number two, people like the Didact are white colonizers, and to update the language, they would probably call him a fascist today. I mean, these lunatics think the Didact represents America, probably. So boys, in closing, is it any wonder everybody freaking hates Halo now? The original Halo games were deeply Christian, deeply religious. They were essentially military games about the military, and Chief was the ultimate hero. 343 and Halo Studios games are dog shit. They're completely anti-religion and anti-faith. They are anti-American, and they somehow make Chief the bad guy. One final note about that, I'm sure people will say, oh, well, the Spartan program was mentioned in the book in 2001, so it's always been there. To that,
They're not.
I would say yes, but do you seriously
Right.
think that
Okay. To be honest, I don't think they're anti-religion. I don't think they're that. I think you have to modernize and move on. Halo Studios have done nothing but butcher the franchise of Halo. Is it down to that? No, it's down to weak-ass writing. It's not down to religion. It's down to weak-ass writing. If they had given Chief a clear goal and a clear direction to head in, that would have been ideal. But they didn't, and that was the problem. They didn't give him a clear direction. And that's what makes the games bad. It's nothing to do with religion. And again, religion is a personal thing. It's down to the individual. You shouldn't be coming out with Christians and Muslims and all this rubbish, because at the end of the day, people play video games to escape from reality. And this guy is a little bit backwards. Right, let's go back to gameplay. Well, I say a little bit, a lot backwards.
OG Bungie would have made Chief the quote bad guy, or the Spartan program responsible for quote war crimes? Get out of here. Also, Bungie made it clear that the games are canon and the books are not canon. The games always took precedence over the books. But anyway, in closing, the whole reason Halo...
Oh dear. Hang on a minute, chat. Got a slight little problem there. Let's just rewind a little bit. Sorry about this, guys.
Hero 343 and Halo Studios games are dog shit. They're completely anti-religion and anti-faith. They are anti-American, and they somehow make Chief the bad guy. One final note about that: I'm sure people will say, "Oh, well, the Spartan program was mentioned in the book in 2001, so it's always been there." To that, I would say yes. But do you seriously think that OG Bungie would have made Chief the quote bad guy?
Yeah, but
or the Spartan
Bungie can develop games forever.
War crimes? Get out of here. Also, Bungie made it clear that the games are canon and the books are not canon. The games always took precedence over the books. But anyway, in closing, the whole reason Halo works as a game is because morality is so black and white. And I think that you will find in real life, morality is still very black and white. Woke people and pronoun people are evil satanic retards. They worship Satan. They are trash, and they represent the flood. The USA, Christians, and all of humanity who value life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness are the UNSC. All right, boys, I'm going to get out of here.
This is
Right, let's go full screen. Okay. I don't agree with that at the end. I think you need to be accepting of all different faiths. I think you need to accept people for being people. And I think, you know, this guy is clearly a radical Christian. Now, I've got nothing against Christianity. I'm not at all. I'm a Christian myself, but I do think that you need to be a little bit more modern and not such a rigid mindset. And that was Andy Pants Gaming. I mean, I will definitely tag him in this video, but I think the dude needs to wake up and realize it's not 2001 anymore. It's not, and you have to be modern. You have to find, a way of telling new stories. You have to find a way of telling new games. You know, I do think Halo Studios have butchered the Halo franchise. I do. I think Halo 4 was awful. Halo 5 was lackluster. It's not the fact they've taken the Christian element out of the games. It's the fact that they have just had poor writing. It's the writing that's bad. It's not, I've never seen the religious element in Halo. I've never looked at it that deep. I've just enjoyed the franchise and played it. I did feel empowered as Master Chief back in the day. Of course I did. But I was a young lad and it was a new IP. It was a new experience, you know. But the Andy Pants, man, you need to upgrade your mindset, bro, because it ain't 2002 anymore. And I think this is the thing. You know, I'm 40 years old and I'm very much like, I know I'm 40 years old. And I know that at 40 years old, I could become old and stained in my views and opinions. So I'm always consciously aware of that. And I'm always striving to be better than I actually am. I'm always striving to be better than I am, and it's not to do with wokeism at all. It's to do with being a human being and being accepting of all people, all religion and all faith. Like right here on my channel, everyone's welcome, regardless of religion, because I think religion has no place in gaming, as does, I don't think, nor does you know, I'm a Christian, you're a Muslim, you're a Jew, whatever. You know, at the end of the day, just leave that shit in the that shit's in the real world. Right here, this is about having fun. Do you know what I mean? This is about coming together as a community and having fun. It's not about you're this, you're that. I won't have labels in here. We're all soldiers of the Caveat Army, regardless of sex, religion. This guy is frustrating, but some of the he raises some good points, but at the same time he needs to update his mindset. I've been Cav. You've been watching Caveat Gamer. I love you lots. I'm going to go off and have a cup of tea. Actually, I'm drinking coffee. You just need to just chill a little bit, this guy. But I'm going to go off and stroke my dog and just chill out. Guys, don't forget, like and subscribe if you've enjoyed this video. I really do appreciate it. There will be, hopefully tonight, a Minecraft live stream on Sunday night. I had electronic issues yesterday in my house. I had to get an electrician out. All the plugs downstairs cut out. They wouldn't work. Turned out there was a slug in a plug socket in the garden. Go figure, huh? £80 for the call out charge for an electrician. But you know what? Fair enough. I had to pay it. But for a slug, the world's most expensive slug, let me tell you. But yeah, that's why I couldn't stream last night, because by the time I sorted all that out, I was absolutely pooped, and then I had to go off and do some other things like walking my dogs and stuff. But I love you. I will all be on tonight. Don't forget, check out Caveat Gamer. We're on Kick, Twitch, YouTube, Kick, Twitch, and TikTok. Remember, guys, I am streaming regular on TikTok as well at the moment. I've been playing a lot of Warzone on there and a lot of Mortal Kombat, so definitely go check that out. MK9, I think it is, which everyone's been loving. But just remember, guys, just remember, you're all soldiers of the Caveat Army, every last one of you, and I love you, regardless of your sex, religion, and everything else. We just remember, guys, we game because we like escapism. Okay, we don't game because we want to start drawing lines in the sand and start giving people titles. Bloody annoying. Right, take care now, guys. See you soon. Cheers now.